Hello and welcome. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at impersonation with the Clarity eCommerce framework. Let's get into it. Okay, so with impersonation, one of the biggest things that we want to focus on is the legal aspects of the impersonation first. Now, this can apply impersonation in general to a customer service rep who is going to be impersonating a user. So imagine a customer or user is calling in. Maybe they're on chat and they're asking for support with their cart. Maybe they need help finding something and getting it added to their cart, or maybe they're running into a technical issue and they can't get past a certain step in the process. Whatever the issue is, there's an opportunity either via chat or via phone support or other means for the customer service rep to then take over that session, take over the user's session and impersonate them. Another common scenario would be for a customer service rep or a sales rep to impersonate a vendor or a seller within the platform who maybe they're trying to upload something or do a bulk upload. Maybe they're trying to set something within their store if you have a store within a store. Things like this can be really helpful to enable impersonation for as well, so that the support team members, whatever their role or title might be, have the ability to go in and represent that seller, the vendor, affiliate, whatever it is, within your platform. And then finally, a very common scenario as well is within an organization, there may be a power user or maybe a few power users who are going to be kind of the primary managers of the account within your customer's account. They may have multiple users. And so they may have lightweight users who are just adding items that need to be purchased. And this more powerful user can go in on behalf of your customer and within the customer's organization. And they can help support people within their organization. So they can impersonate people within their organization. As you can imagine, this could be strife with legal issues if you're not careful. So you do want to make sure that you have a trail of just legal documentation, date, timestamp, IP address, these kind of things, and the ability to restrict access to this. Very important that you restrict access just to the people that need to have access to it. Okay, so once you have the legal aspects of impersonation in place, kind of the next thing is being able to see basic information about that impersonation. And so one of the things that we allow is you can see here, there is an impersonation session log. And so we can actually dig into the activity log and see who initiated it, what the date and time was, and then the activity log itself. So this is a really powerful capability. The option to be able to provide this for your users and make sure that they can get support is really important. But you also have to make sure you're taking care of the legal aspects of it. One of the other aspects of impersonation that we want to make sure you're also aware of is the security side of things. From a security perspective, the concept of impersonation can generally be somewhat more or significantly more of a risk. We don't necessarily encourage setting up impersonation unless it's something that's truly going to be beneficial within your organization. Now, fundamentally, it is possible to really restrict access to impersonated capabilities. One of the most common ways to do this is by role restriction for your administrative users and, let's say, customer support reps who are going to be using the impersonation. We can also restrict the login itself to enforce multi-factor authentication. And whenever they go into an impersonation setting, we can require that they complete multi-factor authentication again every time they impersonate. So this can really help lock down the access and make sure that any access to the endpoints is very secure. And then we can store the IP address and the footprint of that user's machine within the database and ensure that we're taking advantage of that kind of footprint. If you want to kind of get some technical details on that, that would include information about the machine, information about their IP address, maybe information about their browser, and just details that are going to be relatively challenging to replicate in a kind of brute force attack that might occur. And so by combining this kind of footprint of their machine and their IP address and their browser version and things like that, along with the multi-factor authentication and then giving it a timeout and making sure that every time somebody uses impersonation, they have to actually go through these steps again if you want. And if you select those settings, this can really reduce the risk that the impersonation is going to be easily broken from a security perspective, that it would be something that would be easily defeated from a security perspective, as it were. And fundamentally, this just puts you in a better stance to be able to offer this impersonation, which is really helpful for users without having to lose sleep at night. Because you know that you've got a detailed activity log, you know that you have a detailed view of what's going on with the security, and that you're enforcing a robust security capability. Okay, so now let's take a look at the actual experience somebody goes through with impersonation. Okay, so once a support person is actually doing the impersonation, this is what they would typically see first is essentially you're now shopping as this person, and then they're going to see the end session option at the top of the page on all of the pages. So the idea is that they've got a pretty traditional experience on the site, but they have this header bar that's going to be a sticky header for all of their visit time on the site. So they can actually go in and now see what the user is kind of what they're experiencing, what they have in their cart in particular, go to their dashboard, and again, maybe just kind of help out with some of the steps in the process. And so, this, depending on what rights we've given them in the admin area, this is going to allow them to see certain things and help out with making changes, making updates, maybe applying a discount code, doing things like that. And so this is just a view of the cart, showing the cart itself, again, with someone logged in and impersonating. And the big thing that we want you to take away from this overall is that it's possible to set this up for different roles within your organization and allow different folks to have different access levels to impersonate different pieces. And this can be a huge opportunity for customer support and giving that kind of soft edge if there is a transition from self-service to someone needing to do something that requires interaction with support, or possibly with someone on the customer side, one of your vendors or affiliates or a seller within your marketplace. It is possible to give access to certain things and restrict that so that it's, more of a soft edge whenever your end users are interacting with your e-commerce platform. So we certainly hope that was helpful, and we'll look forward to seeing you in another video. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.